Hello everyone, welcome to the third video of our custom cursor series. In this video we're going to add the animation for when we hover to change from the pink to the blue one. So for that, let's start. I forgot to mention in the last video that as we have divs following the cursor, now we cannot select anything or click anything. So for that, it's just a real quick fix. We have to add pointer events to none. That means that the div, this one and the blue one, will not have any event passed to them, so they will be like non-existent. So now if you see here, now we can select here, and like we can click stuff. So with that, let's start with the tutorial. So in order to get the effect we want, we have to get whenever we pass the mouse on the links that we want the effect to appear. So for that, let's add the class that we created in the first video, this one, and add it to the elements that we want to trigger the animation. So that would be this one, and also it would be these ones, and also would be the buttons. So right now I'm selecting Alt and Shift and the left arrow to select everything, and with Shift press also left arrow to select the start of the tag, and then Command D to select the other button. So now let's add class, and it will be clickable. So let's save that. So now that we have our class, we have to get the elements in JavaScript. So for that, we will use const clickable elements, and we will use the document query selector all. So what this does is it gets us back all the elements that have the class we're going to pass, that it will be clickable. Okay. So now we have to add an event for them, and that event would be the mouse enter. So we will have to do clickable elements.add event listener will be mouse enter. And let's just test that this function is working. So whenever one of those elements is hover, let's print something to the console that will be hovered to see if it works. Okay, let's open the console again. And let's see. Oh, sorry, this is the final. Sorry. Okay, so clickable element is not a function. Oh yeah, sorry. As this is like a sort of an array, we cannot add an event listener. So we will have to do a for each function that for each of the elements that we have, like let's just print first the clickable elements. Console log clickable elements. Okay, let's console log. So you see it's a node list that has like an array kind of structure. So the browser has this built-in method that we can use in this node list that is for each. So let's use it for each. And what this will do is would loop on all the elements that we have in here. And to each element, we will add an event listener. So we will pass element, and for every element, we will want to add event listener, and that event would be mouse enter. And let's test that it is working. So let's just print hover. Okay, let's hope that work. And you can see now we're getting hover 2, 3, 4, 5, and okay, so it is working. So now what we want to do is to animate the divs whenever they are hovered. But first we have to also change our CSS. So now we want to create, no, sorry, we don't want to change here. What we want to do is here we want to get the cursor expanded, style dot transform equal to scale 0. So whenever we initialize our page, we want the blue thing to disappear with the scale. So with scale 0, it will have literally the scale 0, so it won't show. So what we want to do here is whenever we hover on these elements, we want to change that. So we will do cursor expanded dot style dot transform equal to scale 1, but also let's remember that we already have a transform in place. That is this one, the translate -50 -50. So if we do this, the scale 1, we're overriding this element, this style that we already declared. So let me show you. So if we do this, see, now it's again, it's not positioned, it's not centered because we remove the transform that we have in the CSS. So we have to add it again. So let's do it. Transform -50% and -50%. So again, let's test it. And it's not showing. Let me check why. Transform. Let me copy it. Sorry, because it's not transform, it's translate. Oh gosh, translate. Okay. So now we see, okay, we have it. But we have a problem. The pink one is still there when we hover, and this is not disappearing when we leave the mouse. So first let's make the cursor disappear, the pink one when we hover. So we will be cursor.style.transform equal to scale of 0. So let's test it again, and now we have changed it. But see, we don't get the styles back. So for that, we have to add another event listener to the elements. And let me do it. Element add event listener, and that event would be the mouse leaf. So we want to do the same anonymous arrow function, and we want to do the other way around. We want the cursor.style.transform to be scale 1 and translate -50 and -50 like this. And also we want the cursor expanded style.transform to again be scale 0. Okay, let's look if that works. Okay, apparently that works, but it's kind of ugly because it doesn't have like a transition. So for that, we have to go back to our CSS to add the transition. So here in our cursor, let's first test it with here. Let's add transition, and we want to only change add the transition to the transform, and 2 seconds, and we want to have an is-in. So what this is doing, this is like the identifier we want to add the transition to, the time of the transition, and the function, like the is-in function, like let me show you. So now if we have here this, it's not working. I don't know why. Transform. It should work. Transition. Oh, now it's working. Okay, see? Now you have like this transition. And let's do the same for this one. But for this one, we want the transition to be a little bit slower, so they don't change like at the same time. So now we have it. But as you can see, now they are coming like from the right. And what we have to do is change the origin of the transform. So we need to add this property called transform origin. And we have to do it -10%. and minus 10%. And we have to do the same here. So let's test it. And okay, now it's working. It's kind of working, but okay, I know why. It's because we're missing also here our translate, because it comes from a non-translate state to a translate, so that's why the animation comes from there. Okay, now let's refresh. What's wrong? Still not working. Oh my gosh. Translate. Transform. I know why. Oh my god, I'm making a lot of mistakes. Okay, now it should work. Still not working. Oh my god. It's because I have a comma. Oh my god. Excuse me, but it's 1 a.m. here. I think I gotta go to sleep. Now we have it. Beautiful, as you can see. So that would be it for this tutorial. But let me also change something here. If we hover here, we don't see this, so let's change the color for that. Give me a second. I have the color right here. That would be sky blue. And also we are having another issue that let's see our clickable class. We have pointer, but when we go to the mouse, to the button, we don't see it. That's because we have this all on set. So let's remove it. And also let's change the font size to 60 pixels here. And yeah, we got it. And the last step is, if you don't want the cursor to be here and you only want the pink circle, just type here in the body, cursor, none. And that would be it. So that would be it, the end of this series. But there's a little problem with this approach of adding event listeners to each one of the elements. It kind of get slow if you have a lot of elements. So the next video is optional, like you can stop here and don't watch the other video. But in the next video, I'm gonna show you a more performant way to listen to the events. So if you would like to know that, see you in the next video, and thanks for watching.